Alright, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. When I was a kid, 1969, there was a cartoon I watched, The Adventures of Gulliver. And there was a character named Glum. Glum was the most negative, toxic, hopeless, despairing little coward in the show. And he was famous or infamous for saying, "We'll never make it, we're doomed, it will never work." And we all have Glum inside of us. Part of us has Glum inside of us. Glum doesn't want to be free. He doesn't want hope. He doesn't want any self-improvement. Glum wants to be convinced of misery and hopelessness because he's scared. And to be a free human being who's capable of making choices for better or worse is just too scary for the Glums of the world. And you know, I have Glum inside me. I recognize it. All my life I've had Glum inside me. I can hear the voice of Glum inside me in everything that I do, and I have to fight it. So I want to work out with kettlebells in the garage, and Glum says, you can't do it. There's spiders in the garage. There's solvents, there's cleansers, there's chemicals in there, man. The toxic particulates will be wafting in the air, man. What about your knees? What about your lower back? What about sciatica? What about your L5S1? What about your neck? You didn't sleep on your pillow correctly. Your neck is sore, dude. You're old. What are you working out for anyway? You're not going to pose your abs on a billboard. You're not Jim Palmer doing a jockey commercial on a big sign by the 405 freeway. You're too old, man. So, Glum is what I would call a maladaptive defense mechanism that prevents you from improving in life, prevents you from being a fully actualized human being who has freedom to do what you need to do. And what I would say is that you can neutralize Glum, you can minimize Glum by identifying Glum's 5 power sources. It's got 5 power sources, and I think if you identify them, you'll do a lot better job getting rid of Glum and working on whatever kind of self-improvement you need to do. Could be your personality, could be you don't listen enough. I got to work on my listening, especially with my family. Could have some anger management. I really struggled with that when I used to drive. Haven't driven in a while. So there's a whole laundry list. We're all projects in the making, and so you got to identify Glum. Here's the #1 power source of Glum: familiarity. Familiarity. Because Glum has been in your head all your life, he's familiar. And you give credence to familiarity even when there's no logical justification, even when there's no grounds or evidence for the claim. It's just something's familiar. For example, in high school, you might have had dead weight friends, what I call dead weight friends or energy vampires. These were buddies, they were your buddies just because you grew up with them, but they were a bad influence. They were knuckleheads. They wasted their time. They wanted you to waste your time. They didn't want you to study. And you gave them credence, not because anything they said or did was intelligent, but because they were familiar. They were just familiar. And familiarity sometimes makes us just give in. And so that's something, if you recognize it, you should be able to stop it. Here's the other thing about Glum. Having Glum inside you is a full-time job. It's like an energy drain. It starts to zap you of your energy. If I'm writing and I hear this voice saying, "Dude, you can't write. You're hungry. You need a snack. You don't even have the energy to write. You need to get up and have a snack." And that's going to lead to, I'll get up, I'll have a snack, start doing the dishes, and before I know it, I've lost focus. I'm writing and I'm listening to one of my playlists on Spotify, and a voice says, "Your playlist blow, dude. You need to make a whole new playlist." And then I start making a playlist. That takes like 3 hours, and this procrastination from giving into that voice, it's just exhausting having to deal with that voice all the time. Or I'm writing and the voice says, dude, no one cares about what you write about. You're irrelevant. You're the tree that falls in the forest and no one hears it. So just give up. It's a complete waste of time. So just dealing with this voice day in, day out, it wears you out. It chafes you. It's a huge energy drain. The third power source of glum is what I call the self-fulfilling prophecy. Glum is so negative that he sets you up for failure, and then when you fail, you look at that as proof that Glum was correct and that you need to serve Glum. Glum needs to be your master. Long ago, I had a girlfriend. Could have been my first one. And I was paranoid, insecure, a dumpster fire. And I got it in my head that she was going to leave me. And every day I would look at her, hey, are you leaving me? No, I'm not leaving you. And I did this for like 3 days straight. Are you leaving me? Are we breaking up? Are you breaking up with me? What's going on? What do you think she did after 3 days? She left me. And I felt so good afterwards. I said, I knew it. Nothing gets past me. I'm the smartest dude on the planet. I just see stuff, man. I am the smartest dude on the planet. Power source number 4. Glum will use the failed due diligence of other people to tell you that you're going to be a failure. He'll look at other people who don't do their due diligence and they'll go, oh, look, that's going to be you. I'll give you an example. 99% of people who go on a diet, they fail. 99% of people who try to make a lifestyle change of their eating, they fail. But that failure rate is not accurate when you take into account that probably 95% of people who try to make an eating lifestyle change or go on a diet, they don't do their due diligence. They don't do research. They don't find out how to eat whole food. They don't find out how to eat clean. They don't find out how to avoid processed foods. They end up going into a fad. They end up going on a diet on a compulsion, on a whim. And of course, under those circumstances, the failure rate is going to be very high. If you were to take people who had to make a lifestyle change based on medical necessity or on athletic goals, and they did their due diligence, and they learned how to cook, and they learned how to eat whole foods and how to avoid processed foods, I think the success rate would be higher. Granted, I'm sure it's still low overall, just because what goes in your mouth and the calories in, calories out is always going to be a struggle, especially if you're not driving to work, if you're in your house a lot right now. I'm sure you're going to have some challenges. And so you can't look at the failures of other people who failed to do their due diligence in the first place as an excuse for your failure. The fifth power source of Glum, he tells you, you know what, you're not so bad. You're not doing so bad, because Glum will take you and compare you to a professional loser. You might have a 55-year-old uncle who's never held a job, and he lives in his grandma's garage, and he rides an old bike around everywhere. And Glum uses that person as a comparison point for you. And I'm going to tell you, man, you don't want to base your well-being because you were compared to a professional loser. There's no way you're going to achieve excellence. All of the excuses of Glum are lame. None of them are rooted in logic. None of them are rooted in evidence. They're rooted in logical fallacies and just the fact that he's familiar and just the fact that he wears you out. Now, there's one form of personal failure that has nothing to do with Glum that is in many ways more dangerous. It's called attrition. Attrition is when you achieve your personal goals and you're lulled into a false comfort and you're lulled into what I would call self-contented mediocrity. And there is an MMA fighter I know who recommended a book to me, and it's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. He was abused as a child by his father. He described his father as a devil, and he grew up and he used food as a drug, and he got up to 300 pounds. And then he joined the Navy SEALs, and now he's a ripped 190, and he's now a motivational speaker. And he warns people of getting too comfortable with their lives and to make choices that get them out of their comfort zone. I recommend the memoir. It was very enlightening. Attrition can be dangerous, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I actually have to increase my workouts in the garage from 4 to 5 days just because my movement is not what it used to be when I was walking from my car to my classroom. So I'll put the name of that book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, in the description. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hey, do you have a glum inside of you that tries to shoot down your dreams? I mean, let me know what you think, man. I want to know if you have a glum story. I know I got too many. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, I'm out.